Hello, good morning. Here's a run through of a 2021 graphics products paper. Now what we got here, we have a farmer that wishes to produce a roadside advertising stand for selling eggs. Here are the dimensions of the egg box, 150, 100 and a height of 65 millimeters. So there's the data that they give you. They give you the sizes, so you design a product around it. Design an advertising stand. The stand should include a moving feature to attract people travelling along the road. So it's got to have a moving feature. Could that be a moving stand? Who knows? We'll have a look at that. List 4 specification points about the function of such an advertising stand that you need to consider important. Here are the answers on the side. So it's got to be mobile, collapsible, protects the wind and rain, attached to the tabletop, freestanding, use of colour, etc. Must sit on a spring, move in the wind, and consideration of the fragile nature of the eggs. Yep, that's good. Use sketches and notes to show 2 methods used to introduce movement into such an advertising stand, and develop 3 separate ideas for the advertising stand, 12 marks, 4 marks for each. Evaluate the 3 ideas, remember choosing positives and negatives, and choosing the idea, and giving a reason for that choice. Then you develop that chosen idea, produce a full solution, and include construction details and important dimensions. And that's what you're marked on, are the construction details, dimensions, and a full solution to the problem. Once that's done, you suggest 2 suitable materials for your solution, drawn in part E, and give reasons for your choice. Then finally, you outline a method that could be used to manufacture one part of your solution drawn in the part, include names of the equipment and tools used during that process. So here we go. Here's our first page. So I got 5 specifications, but must be mobile, easily assembled, must be waterproof and windproof, must be attached to the tabletop, must have colours to attract customers, could sit on a spring to prevent eggs being cracked. Okay, here I've done a quick drawing of a stand, spring, move in the wind, bum bum bum. Okay, so you've got springs there, and you can see that sort of quick sketch there without a ruler. Locate in a pocket so that they do not move too much, and have holes to prevent the wind sail effect, so the eggs won't get damaged. So the egg-shaped holes for the wind to blow through. Yeah, that's something that you could have on your design. So idea number 1, I've used 6mm acrylic. I've mentioned the holes allow the wind to blow through it. It's got springs here on a stand. The eggs fit into this cavity. There's movement, there's a mechanism, and there's the table. I've also mentioned airflow. I've also mentioned it's water resistant. Processing, I've put laser cut joint, and there's a quick sketch of one. And then there's a quick sketch of the base with the spring and the pin. Okay, good. And then there's a quick 3D view of the item with a bit of rendering. Right, idea number 2 is different again. I've done a sort of 6mm hips, again a plastic material. The advertising can go on the side, it can go on the top, whatever. I put dimensions 220 by 400, using the data from the examination example. Then I've put slots for bolts on the side here. Here's a side view of the product, so you can see what it looks like. There's an advert for the top. And again, I've put egg-shaped holes to allow flow. Movements back and forth, so you've got these little slots, 6mm hips, laser cut parts, styrofoam layer to allow to sort of protect it really, and also these slots allow movement, okay, in the wind. Next one, I'll just rotate this around quickly. There you go. Idea number 3, padding for legs, process vinyl lettering, process CNC laser cut engraving. That could be used. I've done a side view. I've done a quick sketch of the styrofoam paddling. Process CNC cut ABS plastic. Slots for the airflow. And there's the egg storage goes in there. That's screwed to the base. Then I've decided to put a floating box with wheels on the bottom. So when the wind blows, the eggs will move in any direction. Wheel system could be used for movement, rollerball system. You could even use like a wind vane, so it's on a rotating bearing, something like that. Anyway, 3D printed wheels. I've done a side view there of the process. Product will move with the wind, and then here on the bottom I've put 3D printed rollers, use of ball bearings. Yeah, you can see that moving. So that would be sufficient. Then I've looked at my ideas. I've looked at the positives and negatives. Great idea, holds the wind, travel through the product. Can store and advertise the eggs. Negative, the springs could be a problem if they get wet in the wind and the rain. Second one, it's got an angle design, allows good flow of air, can be CNC cut in a school workshop. Negative, the slots may be useful at first, but they might get obstructed. Okay, idea number 3. Roller system is very good. The box will make small movement within the shapes. It's not going to move too much. Also, the rollers, negative, may need to be kept lubricated. Okay. So anyway, idea number 3, the roller system to create the round movement of this box of the eggs. That's why I've chosen it. And then I go on to my next bit, which is section E. So in section E, I've done a section of the padded area that goes inside here, that will go inside the box, made from 9mm styrofoam. It's and also the advertisement's been cut on a vinyl BN20 print and cut machine. Styrofoam will be cut by hand, made in a school workshop, and that protects the eggs because they're fragile. Dimensions are put 400, 200, 400, and a height of 120 at the front. Again, processing, laser cutter, 5mm acrylic. I've done a quick sort of idea there how that's going to slot together. All right, they've got interlocking finger joint. I've also added down here a bracket that would secure that to a base. And there's your wheel system on the bottom, the roller system, as I talked about before. A laser cut bracket made from 3mm acrylic, and it could be formed on the strip heater. Here's a roller system, and then there's a plan view of what that would look like from the top, so the movement is gentle. Okay? Excellent. And then finally, this is where you get a good easy marks. So I've chosen, I think I put 5, but I've just put 6mm acrylic here, doesn't really matter. It can be laser cut, available in different colors, and can be fixed together with acrylic cement. I could also design this to make it flat packed, where it doesn't need any cement, but that's another design. Vinyl, now that's the BN20, the CNC cut vinyl. It can be printed and cut on a CNC machine, and the vinyl is waterproof. That's my reason for choice. Then I've chosen laser cutting, which you're all familiar with. You produce a DXF file on 2D Design. You download onto a USB and import to the laser cutting software. USB look, machine. Set the laser cutter power and speed for the 6mm acrylic. So again, I've talked about the material and the settings. Number 4, I've set the Z-axis height for material thickness using a height gauge. So the height gauge is the tool. Okay. Good. Turn on the extraction and set off the machine. That's a safety point. Number 6, once finished, turn off the machine, remove the part, and test the 6mm fit and measure it with a steel rule against the drawing. So then I've got bracket, and I would talk about testing that with a steel rule and drawing. That's basically it for a whole paper. I will do a few more. Hope you've enjoyed it, and this is the first graphic products one that I've done, but I'll do a few more. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Plunkett.